Today, when I woke up in the morning, my mind was preoccupied with Romans 8:28. And the Bible says in Romans 8:28 that all things, that means the good, the bad, and the ugly, work together for good to those who love the Lord, to those who are called according to his purpose. Now, from this text, it is crystal clear that no experience is ever wasted if you use it wisely. Now, did you know God can use everything, and I mean everything you've been through, to develop you into the person he intended you to be? You see, Moses grew up in a foster home, and as the adopted son of Pharaoh's daughter, he spent 40 years learning the language and the ways of the Egyptians. What better preparation for understanding your enemy than being raised among them? But you see, Moses needed to learn a few personal lessons too. And so God took Moses to the desert for another 40 years to tend sheep. Think about this for a moment. The grandson of Pharaoh, the most powerful man during those days, became a lowly shepherd. Let me tell you something. Nothing, and I mean nothing in this world, will ever humble you than having to take a job for which you're overqualified, especially if your own failures put you there. But you see, during those years on the poor side of town, God taught Moses how to identify with hurting people. And finally, after 80 years, Moses was ready to fulfill his calling. In fact, God called Moses from within the burning bush, Moses, Moses. And at the most unlikely place, God revealed to Moses his calling as Israel deliverer. And even though Moses made excuses, and even though Moses was afraid, and even though Moses raised objections, he ended up doing a brilliant job as Israel's deliverer. My point is this. You see, Moses' 80 years in training were not wasted. The first 40 years in a palace prepared him to deal with Pharaoh, and the last 40 years prepared Moses to lead God's people through the wilderness into their destiny. So even though you'd rather be someplace other than where you are right now, I want you to always remember that God never, and I mean never, waste an experience. The Bible says all things work together for good to those who love the Lord, to those who are called according to his purpose. So God is going to use all things, the good, the bad, and the ugly, for your good and for his glory. May God bless you and see you in the next one.